Hey, good morning, everybody. John here at Havoc Maker Studio, coming to you with some very important information. Actually, we got a bunch of information, some really cool stuff, and some very troubling news. And I think it's going to be very important that you listen and take note of this, whether this affects you or not, because you might know somebody that could be affected by it. What am I talking about? We'll get into that in just a moment. So, first up, today we're going to be seeing the release of the Prime Sentinel Mark IV box. That's the two box of Sentinels, and the Sentinel Prime Mark IV box from Atomic Mass Games for Marvel Crisis Protocol is released today. You're probably already at your local game store picking up your copies of those right now, unless you're in Canada. There are some reports right now that in Canada, or at least some of the territories or provinces, I'm not sure what those are called. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to be insulting there, but there are reports coming in that the Sentinel Mark IVs, not the Prime box, but the box of two Sentinels, has not made it to Canada. And you're going to have to wait until November. So I don't know if that's for all stores or that's just some stores. Maybe they ran out and some stores didn't get it yet. If your local store, there somewhere in Canada, whether it's Ontario or British Columbia, whatnot, if your local store does have them available, after you pick it up, come on back or maybe on your mobile device. Go ahead and put it in the comments below that, hey guys, you can go to Maple Leaf game store in Quebec. I don't know, guys. I'm what they could be called, but you go to this store. They've got the Sentinel Mark IVs there. If you're close by, go ahead and grab them. Just go and put that in the comments below. Help out your local gamers and the community. Also coming up tomorrow is big releases from Games Workshop. We're going to be seeing the Battle Tome for the Sons of Behemoth. That's the giants for Age of Sigmar. We're seeing the new King Broad or Broad. I think let's go with Broad. King Broad does not sound right. King Broad is going to be released. There's a box of 3 of the smaller Gargants or the Skull Crushers. I think that's what they're called. Those are going to be released as well. And also, we're going to see the 35th anniversary model. That's the Reynard's Revenge model. We're going to be giving one of those away sometime between November and the end of December on our weekly giveaways for November to December for the fall or the winter time. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys are interested in winning anything, we need to make sure that you're a subscriber. So hit that subscribe button down below. And under your account section, I might have to do a video on this because I think some people are having some difficulties on figuring this out, or maybe they're not sure which way to go about doing this. Is make sure that I can see who you are. So you got to make sure that when you are putting your privacy settings and everything, make sure that you have an email, whether it's your primary email or you have a secondary email that you use for all your junk mail. Regardless, as long as it's an email account that I can see to add you first to the drawing, and B, that way I can contact you if you win. So we've run into this now twice. Well, actually, total of 3 times, but during 2 giveaways, 3 times now, I haven't been able to get in contact with the winners. So please make sure an email that goes to you is in your account that's visible. So, like I said, whether it's like a junk account, not your primary, but maybe you have a junk account for stuff like that, make sure that that's visible. All right. So let's move on to the bad stuff going on. So the American Disability Act's website compliance trolls attack game stores nationwide. So I've been kind of following a little bit of this over the past, I'd say 6 months to a year ish. I don't have really a long timeline. I really kind of pushed it off to the side because it just sounded like conspiracy stuff was going on. nothing really substantial, no links to anything, just people talking about it through Discord, through messenger groups, through different text groups that I'm in. And, but I've always heard about it, but I've never seen anybody really going on about it. And it makes sense, but without anything substantial, I can't really capitalize and do a story on it. So thanks to Rob Bear, who's compiled a lot of the information recently over on Spikey Bits. So the link for this article I'm going to put in the description below because I want to make sure you get a chance to read the article in full. I don't want to take away from what Rob is talking about here. Also, there will be another website for the American Disabilities Act website compliance, accessibility rules and whatnot. I'm going to have a link for that in the comments below. This will all make sense as we get into it. All right. So first up, if you're not aware, the American Disabilities Act was set up in the, I want to say 1990 or early 1990s. And it was designed, now this is before really we got to the advent of what we now see as modern day internet traffic. So this is way back in the day before they rolled out AOL 95 and we had dial up and all that jazz. But the American Disability Act was designed so people with disabilities, a variety of disabilities, mobility, hearing, sight, and whatnot, that they had accessibility to businesses. This included parking spots, ramps for wheelchairs or crutches, or those little, I keep thinking like strollers, the ones that got the tennis balls in the end, and I'm talking about. So we got those. Wider aisles so the wheelchairs can get down them. You got your handlebars in a larger bathroom so people can get in there with their wheelchairs and they're able to get themselves from the wheelchair to the seat and whatnot. Even to where they had, and I can't think of what it's called, but I'm going to call it talk to text devices for going to the movie theater. So if you are hearing impaired, you have like basically a little device that will put up what they're saying on the screen, basically subtitles where they normally don't do subtitles at the movies, stuff like that. So as the internet has grown exponentially, and businesses have gotten have really taken root there, the ADA has transitioned to having compliance standards for businesses. And this is where we're kind of coming to an issue now. And really for us as gamers, hobbyists, game store owners, even small business owners. I know we got a couple people, at least one person actually, that guy has his own RPG that he is going to be going live on soon. Website, the whole works, Kickstarter and everything. And this applies to you in some fashion. So basically what is happening is that there's about 5 plaintiffs, 5 people that are making these complaints. They're out of New York. They're looks to be like they're lawyers. And what they're doing is firing off, I'm going to say hundreds, and that's not an exaggeration, hundreds of lawsuits. And these lawsuits run in the neighborhood of around $20,000 or more if you get those. And what's happening is that they're filing these litigations, and if you are not compliant with the ADA for online, you are going to get this letter. And even if you go in and correct it, you are still liable for those damages. So you are still going to pay. So this is legal, but it's predatory. I hope that makes sense. So when I say that what is going on with this website? They've gone after people like Game Castle, which is a hobby game distribution, kind of like Alliance Games or Southern, or even kind of Asmodee. They're still a game distribution company. Games of Berkeley, Black Rowan, GMT Games. GMT puts a lot of historical games. So, and that's an actual game company. And this group of lawyers, but it looked like most of them were out of New York, are just filing off just numerous lawsuits. And businesses are being shut down, especially the smaller businesses. So your local game stores. I've mentioned lots of local game stores here on this channel, and I'm going to be firing off a message going, "Hey guys, you might want to go ahead and make sure that you are compliant with this because XYZ is going after anybody and everybody." Give you guys just a rough example. I think this month, no, last month, around 212 lawsuits were filed by them. This time last year, they had filed 163 lawsuits. So, or not them necessarily, but 163 lawsuits have been filed for ADA related website violations. So, before we go any further, you might be like, well, John, I don't have a business. I don't, or my own personal business. I don't run a store. That doesn't really affect me. You know what? You're right in that sense. I would just suggest that you take this information, at least take the YouTube channel, the information here on this channel and the link or whatever, and go to your local game store that you enjoy going and playing. The crowd is right. You get some great games in. You get to hang out, and you like the staff. You like their selection, whatnot. It's your favorite local hangout. Go to them and say, hey, this is not like a panicky thing. This is not conspiracy or mass hysteria or people freaking out for nothing. This is a legitimate concern. And give them the information in this video and say, hey, you might want to make sure that you are ADA compliant. Now, that might come down to simply going, hey, web developer, if they have somebody that actually developed the web page themselves, or I mean, developed it for them, or maybe they developed it for themselves, they can go through the link and double check all the ADA compliance standards for their website and make sure that they hit all the hallmarks, every little check in the box, and make sure they're compliant. What are the chances of them getting hit? Probably small, but since they are going after hundreds every month, 11,000 in the past few years have been hit. And that's not just game stores, but other businesses. The chances are that they are going to get hit at some point. You can only dodge that bullet so many times. You're not Neo, and you're not able to bullet physics this out of the way. So I'm just suggesting for your own business or for your favorite local game store, just give them a heads up. It doesn't hurt to say, hey, go listen to what John has to say about this, follow the link, make sure you're compliant about this, and save yourself the possibility. And at the very least, guys and gals, even if you're not compliant, right? If you're not compliant, you're protecting yourselves from these very shady lawyers, these plaintiffs that are, they're using the laws in a very dirty, unethical, I would say immoral way to attack small businesses, right? But you're protecting yourself from them. But you're also making sure that you're compliant for anybody with disabilities that might be shopping online or going to your webpage, your business's webpage, to get information about products and games and locations and everything. And there might be some of those standards that you are not meeting that making it difficult or impossible for them to gain access to your content. So you're helping out customers, which is always good for a business. You need your customers. They are your lifeline, and especially new customers. And you're also protecting yourself from predators, right? So I think it's to your benefit to pass it on or to use it yourself, whatever. So this has been pretty much going on for the past, I would say, 10 years. Most lawsuits were filed in California, with New York coming in second at 45%. So guys, it's to your benefit to protect yourself, protect your local store. So I will have the links in the comments below for this article so you can read it in full. Because like I said, I did not want to pull away from Rob's writing. Also, I will have the links for the ADA accessibility compliance. I'll have that in the description below. Please, please, please pass it on. And let's protect ourselves, protect our favorite local game stores from these jerks. All right. You guys have yourself a wonderful day, and I will chat with you later. See ya.